Friedrich Nietzsche quote. Few are made for independence. It is a privilege of the strong. He who attempts it, having the completest right to it, but without being compelled to, thereby proves that he is probably not only strong, but also daring to the point of recklessness. You must be compelled or you can destroy yourself. Ooh! I'll repeat that again. Few are made for independence. It is a privilege of the strong. He who attempts it, independence, having the completest right to it, obviously, but without being compelled to, thereby proves that he is probably not only strong, but also daring to the point of recklessness. So, you must be compelled or you can destroy yourself. So being, made for independence and being the feeling of being compelled for independence is a great sign that you are on your bullshit and that you are on your journey to just crushing yourself. But yeah, you must be compelled to it, otherwise you destroy yourself. I don't want to overlook that little part of the quote, because what is meant by that is if you're not compelled and you're trying independence, you may be not on the right path for what you're doing. Number 2, there's so many good quotes here today. All right, so do you have courage when no one is around, to see it when it is just you and your own mind? He who possesses courage is he who sees the abyss, but with eagle eyes. He who grasps the abyss with an eagle's claws, he who masters fear. And obviously, if you've been looking into Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy and stuff, you notice that he's the one that comes up with the quote, if you stare in the abyss stares back into you, baby, which is scary. So he who possesses courage is he who sees the abyss, but with eagle eyes, so can see it, look into the dark side of yourself and life and everything else. He who grasps the abyss with an eagle's claws is he who masters fear. So by kind of looking at the abyss with courage is a great way to attack it. Evil is a man's best strength. Man must grow better and more evil. The more evil is necessary for the Superman's best. So that's more understanding your own evil, sharpening it like as a sword, and learning about it, learning not what to do. He who does not list, this is a great one. I love this quote right here. He who does not love sufficiently is angrier the more he is not loved. Repeat that again, because I find this one is fantastic. He who does not love sufficiently is angrier the more he is not loved. So if you're not giving love and you're not out there giving love, the more that you don't actually get love because you expect it and you, expect it, and something that starts with an A. Anticipate it, that's the one. If you expect and anticipate love and you're not getting it, then you're going to get more angry and more angry and more angry. And the only way around that is to give some more love. So I think that is some extremely important good quotes. So guys, welcome to the ABoutWellbeing podcast, episode 40-something. Big flex for you. I am getting in today a social media study, and I've got some notes on my computer, so don't mind me if I'm having a little look on here. I conducted a study in 2019, 2018 for social media, and I think, for performance, if you all want to be the best version of yourself and, you want to reach your potential, we literally live with social media these days. And also, just a little quick call out. At the moment, I have got some space for some one-on-one coaching, guys. If you have been jumping on my journey and been following my stuff, I have now gone part-time at work. I've got the Mondays off, so I have more time to research and give this good energy back to you guys. If you're interested, honestly, just send me a little DM. There's a few things that we sort of go through in the coaching, but basically we map out what your best self looks like and I hold you accountable to that, and then we just start fucking crushing it with all of this crazy shit that we've been learning. Now, back to the social media study. So I think this is really important, and I dare you guys to listen to the end. Like, honestly, listen through all of these things, even if you got to turn me up to 1.2 speed or some shit so you can get through it, or I'll try to talk fast. But social media is super important. We say like, one day we're going to be cyborgs. We already are. For the people that are in, the westernized culture, for us that use our phones regularly, we are already cyborgs. When the fuck do we not go without this? Like, if you think about it, we are humans. As humans, if we're thinking of evolution point of view, what happens was, we're a part of the earth, plants, reptiles, whatever. And what happens is we separated from the earth, and now we're walking around on top of the earth. We can jump. We're not actually connected to it as much as our bodies and minds would like to be. And it's the same thing with your phone. We've just invented this. The earth invented us, and then we all walk around. We invented these phones, and now, they are separate from us, but we're one and the same thing. Social media is so important. When we look at it, like I'm spending 3 to 4 hours a day on social media every day. And that comes with work, screen time, everything else. I wouldn't say social media, but just on my phone in general. Social media is like 2 hours, which is crazy. It's just like a couple of posts and just catching up with some friends like every day. And then you just get stuck in that hole going meow, 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 around and around and around. Crazy. So yeah, we conducted this study because I was me and a colleague at work did. And we're just extremely passionate, for why should we do it? We're like, okay, what is going on in our minds and what is happening and what are the rules around this? Because it's not like, we go to school and in year 3, we're like, all right, everyone, here is some social media training that you're going to critically need to, reduce your anxiety and depression so you don't get fucked up from being on your phone all the time and getting like distracted all the time, having instant gratification. You don't have any discipline, or your discipline is lacking, your attention to detail is lacking, your focus is lacking, and blah, 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 blah. You're comparing yourself. We didn't have that knowledge. We haven't been brought up on it. It's all new and it's coming so fast, obviously. Everyone always keeps talking about this. Stressing, right? However, I wanted to have a bit of a dive deep into it and just see what's actually happening. So we got 200 plus people to do this survey. Now, listen in, guys, because this is nuts. As I was saying beforehand, because we are so integrated with our phones, optimizing ourselves, we have a relationship with our phones. We need to optimize our relationship with this. So I think this module is extremely fucking important. Extremely important, this episode. And honestly, if you get anything out of this, please share it to someone. Someone who needs to hear all the stuff in this, because man, it's just such a big integrated part of our lives, and it can be such a good force for good, and it can be such a good force for bad as well. So my goodness. So the demographics that I got is basically a whole bunch of people from Australia, mainly from South Australia, but all around the East Coast as well. We got like 220 people to do the survey, which is great. Majority male to female. Hang on a second. Post office guy is at my house. I don't even know what I got. Some gangster, hopefully. All right, so catch post office guy distracted me. So yeah, demographics mainly female. So we got I think it was like 60% female, 40% male. I was just sending out like a whole bunch of survey questions, like, come on guys, do the survey. So age groups, roughly the majority of the age group was about 40% 25 to 34 year olds, and 20% under, well, 25% under 18, and another 25% 18 to 24. And then we had a few people from 35 all the way to 54 up in there. So stats. I'm going to start running down some stats. So put your thinking caps on, because y'all need to learn this. I think this is really important. This is going to upgrade you just in general. So 60% of people prefer to contact others by call and text, and 40% social media. So people still prefer, the most preferred way of contact is mainly through texting and calling people. This is like friends and stuff. So if you're, hey, I need to get in contact with someone, I prefer to text you. Social media contact is a little bit more superficial, my assumption. 75% of people prefer to be contacted by others by calling and text, and 25% prefer social media. So what is your preferred way of being contacted? Most people would prefer to be contacted by text and call. So just for people who just, even think about marketing or friends and things like that, it's probably best to talk to people that way when they're open to it. Because I know sometimes if you're calling people, you're like, oh God, shut up. Super annoying. But yes, interesting. The most common amount of likes people experience, and what we found out was 50% of people are always unhappy with the amount of likes they get. 50% of people are always unhappy with the amount of likes they get. My goodness. But the common amount of likes for people was in the 80 to 100 realm. And then we found out that people who get any likes under than what they're used to get seriously unhappy. We said, how many likes make you feel disappointed? And the biggest range was 80 to 100. Isn't that so paradoxical? So what's the most common amount of likes you get? Yeah, 80 to 100. What is the most, what are you happy? What amount of likes makes you feel disappointed? 80 to 100. And then 10 to 20 was the other biggest one in there. So if you get really low, or if you in, like, you can't win, like either or. So I think that's something just to be extremely mindful of, which is very interesting. It's like, why do people actually have, care about the amount of likes that they get? I mean, we can't even see it anymore. But I think I just find that so fascinating and paradoxical that it's like, you can't win. You get the same amount of likes and you're not going to be happy about it. 50% of people, the other 50% don't care. This is a very interesting fact, this next one, all right? Types of comments people receive. Everyone constantly experiences very positive and positive comments. We had 99% of people put in that they receive very positive to positive comments. What? We had one person that said that they experienced out of 200 a negative comment. What are the constant experiences that people see, type of comments that they receive? Super interesting. So 99% of social media is extremely positive and positive comments on your stuff. Whoa. Interesting, right? Interesting. Very positive place for that. So that's why I get a lot of people, I guess, have fear of posting or putting stuff out there or getting vulnerable, because obviously you can get vulnerable on social media, but hey, like, it's out there. 99% is positive and very positive. Whoa. And it was like, it's actually 47% very positive. And then whatever the 48%, 49% positive. So it's just insane. Everyone constantly experiences very positive and positive comments. So like, how do positive comments make people feel? We said, special, motivated, amazing. We had a couple of people say they're addicted to positive comments. And then we had a couple, like one or two people say like they need more. And then other people said nothing much at all. And then we had a bunch of comments on there. Very interesting. So some people feeling special or motivated. Other people don't feel much at all. Which is like 25% of people said don't feel much at all. And then 40% of people said special or motivated. Very interesting. Very interesting. So some people value the positive comments. Other people don't value them at all. Obviously, and I guess that depends who you're getting comments from, when you're getting comments, where you're getting comments, the type of how vulnerable the post is, and are you getting positive comments on that? Like, all of this stuff is like really interesting for how it works psychologically. Next question. How do negative comments make you feel? Stressed, anxious, self-judging. We had a few up. Stress was 10%. Anxious and self-judging was 20%. And then we had a couple people saying, like very minor, like 2% bullied and want to retaliate. Then we had a larger percentage. So 20% for I ignore them. I get angry, but I know it's nothing to worry about and nothing much at all. And I have never received any. We had 20% never receive any. So I think that's also very good. So the higher amount of things were around I ignore them. So it's really, you can see like half and half of people that actually, some people take on positive comments, half people take that on. Then half of the people don't feel anything really too much when they have negative comments. They can kind of process it, but the other half struggle for sure. Time spent on social media. So funny video ads is 1 hour or less to 2 hours. So it's like, people will spend 55% of people spend an hour or less watching funny video ads, being unproductive. And then we've got another, 55 to 85%. So 30% of people spend 2 hours watching funny video ads. And then we have, 10% of people, 3 hours, funny videos and ads. And then it just keeps going. And then it's like 2% 4 hours, 2% 5 hours, 2% 6 hours. And it just kind of keeps going like that. So that's pretty insane. And then time spent scrolling on social media. We only had 20% of people, an hour or less. We had, I think it was from 20 to 60. So 40% of people, 2 hours. Then we had 60 to 80. So 20% of people, 3 hours. And then we had 80 to 90, well, just over 90. So 12% of people, 4 hours. So, majority of people are in the 2 hours, but we have, put it this way. 20% of people are 1 hour or less on social media platforms a day. And then over 20% of people are spending 2 hours plus. That is so much time on social media. My gosh. So it's like, what are we going to do about that? Really, that's like just so crazy. And if you think about the amount of time that you have in a day, you're spending 8 hours at work. How much work time are you actually spending on social media? And if you got, roughly 16 to 15 hours a day of awake time before you got to get to sleep and then go to bed, it's like, well, how much extra time are you spending on social media? And if you're spending the afternoon at night time on social media, just scrolling and looking at some bullshit, that is a whole bunch of melatonin and different things that aren't getting released in your brain. So it's going to struggle if you get to sleep. Last night, my sleep sucked. And that was because I had a little bit later on at night, I was scrolling on my phone until 8 o'clock and I didn't have a complete shutdown. I like to have like a shutdown complete at 6:30 where I just get rid of everything. But I was on until like 8:30, scrolling, and oh man, my sleep was fucked last night. I just kept waking up like, God damn it. So, it's very interesting, especially from a biological point of view of what it actually does to your brain and your sleep and your cortisol. That is so much time on social media. How do we squeeze it in? I do not know, but we do. We damn well get it done because we're addicted. Favorite and most common. Maybe we're just addicted to those positive comments, and then like after a while we get sensitized to them. We just positive comments. Give me more. I need more. I want more meaningful ones. Favorite and most commonly used platform. So this, I just went Instagram dominated big time, 65%, and then Facebook by 10%, and then it was Snapchat's like 5%. TikTok wasn't around when we did this. This was like 2 years ago. So TikTok was around, but it wasn't blowing up. So I'd like to see that now. And then we got a little bit on Twitter and a tiny bit on Messenger. Then again, most commonly used platform. So the favorite platform was Instagram, led by an extra 10%. Most commonly used platform was Instagram at 55%, and then Facebook took up an extra 10%, and then so did Messenger take up a little bit extra on there as well. So people are smashing Facebook, Messenger, Instagram. How obvious. Okay, so what are the three types? What are your three favorite types of posts for your marketers out there? This is some of the interesting stuff. People, 30% motivating, 35% fitness. A lot of the people that I asked to do this survey were definitely fitness people though, because a lot of my friends go around that. But we had majority of people, 50% said friends, and then an extra 40% of people said funny videos and memes. Then the rest was all like pets and things like that. But that were the main ones. So motivating, fitness, friends, funny videos and memes. People are mainly on there just to be entertained. Very interesting. How do you feel when someone does not reply to you, but they have seen your message? Oh, I fucking like this one. 73% of people feel annoyed, anxious, or angry, or impatient when their message has been seen. He who does not love sufficiently is angrier the more he is not loved. If you are someone who is disconnected with your love and you haven't got those sort of psychological things sorted out, like this Friedrich Nietzsche quote we're coming back to here, the more you are not loved, the more angry you're going to get. So if you're not loved, or if you're not giving love, interestingly enough, if you get seen, that is a sign of withdrawal from love. How's it going to make you feel? 73% of people feel anxious, angry, or impatient when their message has been seen. That is majority of people. Holy shit. A very small amount of people, 10%, don't feel nothing much. And then we had a very large percent of people also, so like the other half was it's annoying, but they know that they may be doing something. So, people do get annoyed, is the main one, but they do recognize that people are busy doing something else. But yeah, interesting. There's a lot of people that kind of, doesn't make them feel too good. How do you feel when someone does not reply? But as back to that study, he who does not love sufficiently will feel unloved. How do you feel when someone does not reply to you, but they are active on social media? So this one, and again, 15% of people, nothing much at all. We had from 50% to 90%, so 40% of people, it's annoying, but they know that their people might be doing something. And then we had from 15% to 50%, oh God, how's my maths? 35% of people said angry, anxious, and impatient. So that's another huge amount of people here. People actually get more angry when they see someone's active than what they have when someone seen your message, because the people understand seen, people are busy, but when they're active, woo, baby, That's going to trigger people. So just be aware of this. This is all just information for you guys to be aware of. 35% of people care if their most recent post gets more like than their previous post, yet the rest don't care. So do you care if your current post gets less likes than your previous post? 35% of people care if their most recent post doesn't get as many as their last post. And then the rest of the people don't care. Very interesting though, because that's a small variety of people who actually that will be like, shit, man, this post of mine didn't get as many likes to my last post. Those kind of people I think really need to understand these rules, or have rules around social media for sure. Because some people are really connected to it. We're on it all the time. And if you care and really value your presence, or you connect with your identity on social media, like I believe that this is literally, like on your phone and social media, is literally a parallel universe. People talk about parallel universes. We have got one right in our fucking hands, baby. And like our whole online presence, like if we took our human side out of it, imagine if we were just social media beings. And that was it, and we didn't have a human body. It's like that's the universe. Everything is on there. So, some people, their identity is too connected with that parallel universe. It's like, let's come back into this universe and then just share some of the stuff onto there. Let's first recognize that. Important little insight there. 80% of people participate in story features. Very interesting. So it's like, how often do you participate in Instagram, story, polls, features, views, interactive stuff? 80% of people. The biggest one was a little. Like for 20% of people, not at all, and then from 35 to 80% of people, so 55% of people, a little, and then majority did a moderate amount, and then there was like 10% of people did a lot, and 5% of people did a great deal. So people do get around the story features. Very interesting. People are interactive, connecting, and that is definitely one great way of doing it. 75% of people are affected by negative comments. So remember how I said beforehand, how there was types of comments people receive, right? Is 99% of people experience very positive to positive comments. For 75% of people actually get really affected by negative comments. But it's like, why do 70 people get affected by negative comments if they've never experienced them? See what I mean? Oh, I love that. I love that little fact, because that's just like, okay, how are we as a human collectively and as an individual strong enough to overcome these little things and be resilient enough to experience these types of comments? I think that the way that, like, this is getting so deep into shit, but just like through the way we've brought up through school and just education, and just at the moment, because we haven't got like, training or years of studies, we don't have a social media health subject. Like, you know what I mean? We got health nowadays, health subject. Social media is not a module that we get taught in there. Well, I don't know. I think that it should be. And if we're not, and we don't understand, friction, comments, trolls, people saying negative things, we don't understand how to deal with all those things, which I believe is a very strong leadership skill. That's some king energy stuff. And if we don't know how to understand and do those things, we haven't been exposed to that, then it's going to be very difficult for us to overcome. We're going to be a lot more hypersensitive to even thinking about those negative things. Like, there's people here haven't experienced negative comments, but they feel affected. The majority was like 50% said a little, and then 20% said a moderate, 10% said a lot, 5% said a great deal. And then it was 25% said negative comments don't affect them at all. However, I think that it's just extremely important to be aware of the fact that if we do experience them, where does it come from? What do we do? How do we deal with that? And that, that we are hypersensitive to it. And that if we get on top of those things, we can just be way better at, being our own selves. And I think that having the opportunity to get good and be aware that these things are happening and looking into the dark side of things, and because I do think that we're super sheltered, especially our kids and us at the moment, and just the way people go about things of social media. Oh, you feel better, don't worry about that, whatever, we're super sheltered. It's like, no, like, you will experience some of these things if you're out posting and wanting to share your life, blah, 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 blah. How do you cope with that? Very, very interesting. He who possesses courage is he who sees the abyss, but with eagle eyes, he who grasps the abyss with eagle claws, he who masters fear. Do you have courage? Another Friedrich Nietzsche quote is coming in here. It is coming in here. So I think that is just I just love to stimulate that conversation, right? I think that's really important. Almost 70% of people check not just their phones, but their social media at all times of the day. Crazy. We did the study. We're like, okay, when do you check your phone? When do you most use it? And one of the selections we had was all times of the day. 70% of people said all times of the day. And then we had people saying as soon as I wake, 20% was as soon as I wake up, morning, day, night, right before sleeping was 15%. So not as many people, which is very good. And then we had a couple people say never, but majority, 70% of people said all times of the day. We all checking our social media. Super interesting, right? Fuck. And we just got to admit that to ourselves. Shit, we're on at all times of the day. I just like to pose the question, when can we set up times where we turn our phone off, set times where we got screen off, all these different things so that we're not on it for at least a couple hours of the day. Like, my goodness. Do you wish you could spend less time on social media? 70% of people said yes. The rest said no. Would you like to be more efficient with social media? 75% of people said yes. So yes, we want to spend less time on social media, but we want to be more efficient with social media because we know that we want to look at things. We know that we want to post some stuff. We know we want to share some things because obviously content is key these days for a whole bunch of things. Your social media can be used as a great tool. We want to be more efficient with that. So like, how can we do that? It's just a question. And the question I'd like to ask you is like, what could you actually do to be more efficient? I'd love to just for people to send me a message on this. How do you think you could be more efficient? I've got some ideas as far as we can do that just for setting up little tools and, how we could actually spend focus time on social media and protect the scrolling. But yeah, I'd love for you guys to reach out and let me know. Almost 75% of this is a huge fact as well. Because stay in, guys. Stick with me here. We're getting this done. There's not too much left to go either. So 75% of people compare themselves to other people on social media. We asked the question, do you compare yourself to others on social media? We had, 15% people said a great deal, so we're not alone. 10% said a lot. 15% a moderate amount. And then 30% said a little. And then another, 25% said not at all. But so 75% of people are comparing themselves to others on social media. That is a crazy statistic. I mean, I compare myself to other people sometimes, and definitely when you're looking at people that are crushing stuff. So you know what makes just the really important thing which goes into my mind for this, and I think everyone needs to hear this. Who you fucking follows matters. Who you follow on social media will affect you psychologically. Holy shit. So we just got to make sure that we are following the right people and being aware of that. Now, what I like to pose on here is just like, we in my coffee article, my coffee podcast, we went into caffeine fasts. We talked about, caffeine sensitivity. I think it's got the same thing. I mean, caffeine works off dopamine receptors. So does social media. You can get with those little dopamine hits in our brain, which are addictive and which kind of just get us absolutely going. So when we think about these things, it's just like, this is such an important fact for who we follow matters. How often do we have social media fasts? Can we make them regular because we're running off dopamine? Like we need to reset our dopamine receptors, give it a fucking break. So when you have a caffeine fast, have a social media fast because that's when you need a little hit. Ha ha. And the people out there that are sniffing booger sugar and smashing cocaine as well, you start noticing that those people, obviously Australian culture, people smash coke. People who are doing that stuff will be more addicted to social media, more liking likes, more likely to have caffeine because they just constantly need that next fucking hit. So one is that, and then also purging, social media purge. Go through who you're following and unfollow the shit out of people every week, every day. My followers at one stage was like over 1,000. I'm down to 400. I went through them like every second week. I'm just going to go unfollow a shitload of people just to see how we go and just follow the people that I think matter the most to me and they're going to be uplifting. So I think that is super important. So who you're following matters. Unfollow people. Social media fasts, social media purges. Make them a regular thing, even if you got to set up a reminder in your phone. If not right now, pause this video right now, pause this podcast and just quickly go through, or even immediately after, unfollow the shit out of heaps of people. Go through and have a big old purge. And if I'm not serving you, unfollow me as well. So seriously, unfollow people that aren't serving you big time. Even if they're close friends. Like honestly, like you catch up with them. You can people prefer to be texted and called anyway. From the social media survey, you can see that. Go in there and send them a damn text, give them a call, especially if they mean a lot to you. We asked the question, why do people compare themselves to others? So here's just some questions to show that you're not alone. Because I don't feel the need to. Life comes first. Some people don't. Lifestyle, looks and fashions. I think that's just how all aspects of life are. You use the people around you and the things they are doing to motivate you in life. I only aspire to those who I look up to. Thought leaders, researchers who show a great amount of human intelligence and empathy. I aspire to be more like that. Just do. So there's some real positive comments in here as well, because I don't care and I know that it would negatively affect my mental health. So these are a lot of the people commenting that have said that they don't, like not at all. Some people say, I feel like I'm not enough. Other people say, it's hard not to. Other people say, I don't really know why. It is more subconscious only because I spend so much time looking at people living luxurious lifestyles. Well, unfollow those luxurious lifestyles, people. Come back into your, like, especially if you're looking at it from that way of comparing, unfollow them. Follow people that may be 1 or 2 steps ahead that are more realistic. There's no need. Live your own life, not in the shadow of others. Because I'm human. I think that's hectic. Because I'm human, I compare myself. Like, fair enough, but I'd have higher expectations of self because you control everything in your life. It's your decision. And if you are a human, you have the ability to unfollow and undo certain things, right? It's just we don't have the education on it. Hard not to. I don't know why I compare myself to others on social media, but I have for as long as I can remember. I compare myself to people around my age bracket who could be friends or mutual friends. I feel like I can't keep up with posting trendy photos and being as skinny or good looking. Crazy. So people are experiencing that all the time. I don't know. Yeah, that was the one. Habit. It's always in my face. It's easy to compare yourself on others on social media until you take a step back and reassess and remind yourself that it's all scripted. I focus my time on my own reality and goals. I know not everyone's social media are their reality, and people needn't focus on their positives in their health, loved ones, their jobs, not compare our features or materialistic things to someone who may be suffering from something you know nothing about. So there's just crazy comments and it just keeps going. It's just nuts. So it's just a lot of people saying for and against, sticking up. There's so many positive, beautiful comments there. And there's a lot of people who just, it's like hard not to, a little bit nihilistic about it. So over 60% of people want to know who they should follow for their own benefit. How interesting is that, right? So would you like to know who you should really be following for your own benefit? Yes. So start thinking, mapping out who you are. And, if you start noticing that this post goes, oh, I'd actually like comparing myself here. Or, oh, I don't feel that good for that post. Unfollow that person. Boom. Super important. And that's essentially it. And then anyone who is really motivating and gets you going, follow that person. That's great. You'll see their stuff. But you just got to be careful because what's not put on social media is like, we always got the follow button. What's not in our face is unfollow. So we have to subconsciously and consciously be aware to be unfollowing people all the damn time. All right, we're not too far off people. I'll start going a little bit faster here, because these are just some interesting stuff here. Why do you use social media? The main one here is to connect with friends. One of the other biggest ones is for, to look at what others are doing. And then we've got to find locations you can go to, and then for business reasons. And then as a means of learning, and then to motivate yourself. It's a good one. What do you think would be the most productive reason to use social media? To connect with friends, and then business reasons was the second biggest one. People are aware of the power of social media. How has social media benefited you in the past 6 months? Inspiration, highlights, motivation, goals due to learning. Business, mainly good exposure for the brand, but it has also helped me find my girlfriend. Business awareness, contacting a friend or family with overseas. I don't think it has. Connect with international, interstate friends, workout ideas, recipe ideas. The only way it benefits me is being able to search the marketplace to purchase stuff. I like to connect with other artists, and it also gives me a platform to share content I am passionate about. Business use only. Finding great locations. Business related. Discovering loads of cool places around the world I never knew existed. I have been motivated a lot with cooking and getting out with the kids to make new memories, helping me choose an outfit for an event, assisted with new restaurants to go to. So that's some awesome reasons why we use social media. It's really handy for just like advice, figuring things out, where to do, what to go. Over 40% of people actually care about how many people they follow. Very interesting. So there is, 40% or more actually care about how many people they follow. And if you do, unfollow people. And if you don't, I honestly think that you should. You should care about how many people follow. I reckon we should be following the least amount as possible and being very precise for our mind. As we see, it has all these different psychological consequences and benefits depending on who we follow. So that is really important. Survey participants care about how many people follow them. So how many people do you care? How much do you care about people who follow you? 45%, not at all. 55% said yes, they care about how many people follow them. Very interesting. I sort of try to post out of love, for sure. And I think that that's just like, I'll leave that up to you guys. If you have anything that you'd like to add to that, because I'm not sure what to say there, please leave in like the comments or below like the YouTube video, or send me a DM and I'll put it on my story. How much do you care about people? How many people follow you? Why is that? So 80% of people are aware of the social media impacts they have on their brain chemistry. Wow. So only 20% of people don't know essentially how the dopamine works. The people are aware of how it works in your brain chemistry. 60% of respondents, right? So this is not just a social media question. This is in general. We just asked, have you ever suffered from anxiety or depression? 60% of people have, for sure. So that doesn't just come in with social media. It's just that to know that there's more people that haven't. And I think that like, everyone suffered, from some sort of anxiety and depression, and we all do at certain times of our life. We just need to know how to manage and deal with it. And obviously social media can be a huge, huge tool that we can use to recognize like, hey, there is so much positive benefits out here. Maybe I should spend some time actually thinking about them and digesting them in there. And if I need some love and I put it out there on social media, I'm going to damn well get it. But I need to be aware and have the courage and understand that if there is negative comments, I can be resilient to those different things. And I know that with all the love and positive that I get from social media, there's obviously going to be a little bit of negative out there, but hardly any of us are ever going to experience that anyway. So what should we do? So, you know what I mean? I think it's just being aware of this. And if anyone would like me to go deeper in this or actually go through like what we should actually do, please send me what you think we should do. And I'll do a podcast on that and post stuff on my story. I think this is really, really important. If you're not following me, I'm just Corey Boutwell on Instagram, and I'm very Instagram dominant. So here's just some real quick facts that we had as part of the survey. 60% of people have thought about how and what and who they're following and how it affects their personality. Interesting. 75% of people would like to know how social media algorithms work. Majority of people feel the same if they can't access social media. 30% feel worse. 15% feel better if they can't access it. People have not had breaks from social media at one time. The main platforms they have had a break from are Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat. So they haven't had a social media fast all at one time. 40% of people suggest that 10 to 20 contacts on social media are considered to be a close friend, and a further 25% only 20 to 40. So that basically means, 10 to 20 to 30 people on your actual Facebook and Instagram that you follow and who follow you are close friends. The rest of the people are superficial as fuck. So you don't actually have to worry about anything that they're saying because they actually don't know you. They only see your parallel universe version of yourself and connect with that person. They don't know the real reality of you in your own mind and your environment. So I think that's really important when you're posting, when you're on social media, when you're scrolling, when you're experiencing different things, that is out there. Biggest reasons people check their phones and they're out and about in order from the largest to smallest. So to get in contact with people they're supposed to be meeting. So this is when people are out and about, like at a social situation. When they get a call with their friends and leave them, and when they like to put their phone and be on their phone and don't check it or be anxious about it. Very interesting. Very interesting. Few quick facts. Majority of people contact their friends through social media. However, direct messages make the majority of people feel nothing much at all. Why do people comment on posts? 30% of people said to engage with friends, and 30% of people said to spread love. So that's very interesting. 30% of people said to engage with friends. 30% of people said to spread love. So people are out there to spread love on the posts, man. People are out there to engage with your friends. So there's 20 or 30 people that you're friends with are backing you up. Then the rest are out there to spread some damn love. There was also really positive stuff for that question. Like, why do you comment? It was all like positive shit. 95% of DMs are all positive based messages. The most appropriate time to call people is largely dominated to call your relatives or parents are the high statistics of people saying when I think it's actually just good to call someone. 55% of people like to check their phone straight away when they receive a notification, which is also very interesting. Oh, I need to check it. Oh, I need to check it. Dopamine hit, dopamine, caffeine, code. Woo! All right. So this is the end. Thank you guys. If you got through this whole thing and listened, like I hope you got some nuggets out of this. If you want to be the best optimized version of yourself, you've got to be aware of all these things. How is social media integrated into your life? So just a quick takeaways, have a social media fast, couple days, unfollow the shit out of heaps of people, follow the people that make you feel really good. Be aware that social media can be a great place for positive interaction, but also if you're desensitized to things and you're not connected with yourself, it is very hard. You will find it more difficult to feeling the response to negative comments. Also, we are on social media at all times of the day. So putting in some rules for ourselves for how we use for social media, how we can be more efficient and how we can not be so dominated so that we can actually focus on our actual reality instead of this social media parallel universal reality. Hence why going away and doing trips for like weekends and stuff is so important. So yeah, guys, I hope you got a lot out of this this training. I'm just gonna leave you guys and just share the one Frederick Nietzsche quote again. Few are made for independence. It is a privilege of the strong. How independent are you? Just want to ask. How independent are you with your social media and the rest of your life? You know, he who attempts it, having the completest right to it, but without being compelled to, thereby proves that he is probably not only strong, but also daring to the point of recklessness. Do you feel compelled to get off social media for a little bit? Huge love, guys. Again, I'm just going to leave you with a big flex and just let you know I have got some room for some one-on-one coaching if you want to jump on. Send me a DM. Obviously, we include all of these different things, map out the best version of you and keep you accountable to that bad boy. Sending you some huge love. I hope you like this and we'll see you in the next one, guys.